What up, everybody? I'm Chris Roscoe, and I am cringe as fuck. I am a 36-year-old man that dresses like a Power Ranger and really has a good time. So today we're going to be talking about how cringe is actually your doorway to personal power, strength, confidence, and the true ability to not give a fuck what anybody thinks about you. This costume here, I made it myself. It took me 2 weeks and a lot of work, and I wanted to get it absolutely right and perfect simply for the reason that it would make me happy. And then I showed up to this thing knowing that there's a lot of people that follow me on Instagram that are gonna judge me and make fun of me and all kinds of shit. I knew that was gonna happen, but it made me happy. And the really cool thing about it was when I showed up, I was able to see how many other people it made happy. And to me, that just amplified the happiness that it gave to me because I did something that a lot of my other friends would think is cringy and stupid. I was able to find all these other people that thought it was the dopest shit in the world. And now I got new friends out of it. I've got new people to collaborate with. I've got new opportunities. Like, so many things have opened up as a result of me being willing to be just cringe as shit. Like, have you ever seen that meme? Don't kill your cringe, kill the part of you that cringes. This is kind of what I'm talking about, because cringe is actually a entry point into unlimited confidence and even finding your place in the world. So let's start by breaking down what cringe even is. Cringe is that thing that happens when your butthole puckers as your entire being is filled with the excruciating and debilitating embarrassment of remembering your former self. This is why most of the time when people cringe at their own memories, they're cringing at shit that they did in third fucking grade. It's your own personal blooper reel. In short, it's where you're still embarrassed of yourself. And there's multiple different reasons you could be embarrassed. Like for me, when I was a little kid, I had this obsession with being cool, dating certain girls and looking a certain way and doing blah, 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 blah. And that really had everything to do with the environment that I grew up in. So in order to be accepted and considered cool, you have to do certain numbers of things. And I fucking hated myself as a kid, so I didn't want to be who I was. I wanted to be what everyone else thought was cool. Then, lo and behold, every once in a while, the real me would slip out and I would cringe like a motherfucker. In my own personal belief, me being me was not good. That meant that I was gonna get rejected, meant that bad things were gonna happen, and so I had to put away the real me so that I could be this other me. And I would cringe like anytime the real me actually slipped out a little bit. And cringe doesn't necessarily have to be anything that you've done. Like, I'm sure you've seen, there's entire fucking Instagram pages devoted to just people doing cringy shit. For some reason, people really get off on this masochistic thing of looking at cringe, and I don't know what the whole deal is. All that really is just you seeing your own cringe in someone else. You're seeing them engage in behavior that if you allowed yourself to do, you would cringe, you would feel embarrassed, you would think that you're gonna get rejected, and ultimately it shows you where you still value other people's opinions more than your own. So all cringe is your cringe. Now, when I say cringe is all the areas of your personality where you still value other people's opinions more than your own, that doesn't mean to just make a complete flop and not care about other people's opinions at all. Because sometimes the cringy shit that your mind tells you was wrong was actually wrong. Like, if you've ever seen those, I just saw a video last week of this influencer chick making a reel or TikTok or whatever, pretending to take trash off the beach, and then she fucking left the trash on the beach. Like, that's actual cringe. That's actually being so unaware that you do some really embarrassing, stupid shit, and if somebody calls you on it, you probably deserve it. So if there are certain things that you cringe about, you actually want to check if that's actually wrong or not, because it might be. Like, maybe you look really good on the way to your grandma's funeral, but don't take a fucking selfie. Or if you do, just show it to your friends. Like, maybe don't post it. There are some real things that are actually just not good to do and will make you look like an asshole. And so you don't want to just repress your cringe, you want to analyze it and integrate it to see if the thing that you're doing is actually completely unaware and going to make you look like a real asshole, or if there's just some people out there that are going to judge you as dorky or nerdy or weird or whatever, and whether or not you even care about those people's opinion, right? Like, there was nothing wrong about me going and dressing up as a Power Ranger. Like, I didn't hurt anybody, didn't do anything actually wrong, but I know there's a lot of people that I know are going to make fun of me for it. You've probably heard me say this quote a lot, but I was willing to follow that which is most alive in me, and I've made my own clothes for a long time. Like, I made this. If you ever see me wear a leather jacket, I've made that. I make my pants. I make all my own clothes. This was just an extension of something I already really liked doing, but this allowed me to embody a character that I really like, and embodying an archetype that I really like, and so it was just fun as But let's be real, let's not act like I wasn't afraid. Let's not act like I didn't know what I was doing was cringy. Every single step of the way, every time I posted a picture, I know there's a whole I even know who these guys are. There's like a whole subset of my following that are just not like me at all. And I know they make fun of me for a lot of shit. If they laugh at me for being who I am, then they're not my homies anyway. I want to be around the people that are gonna see me being who I really am, even the cringy shit, and are gonna love me for it. And it's worth me getting rejected. It's worth me getting made fun of to know who my real people are. I would rather have 90% of the world laugh at me if I had my 10% of homies and I actually knew who they were. I would much rather prefer that than the opposite. Now, you may be the type of person who has a lot of ideas of what you want to do and all those sorts of things, but society, whoever, your environment, your friend group or whatever has told you that it's cringe. So how do you cross the divide from being the person who's afraid of all this to being the type of person who just doesn't give a shit at all? And like I said before, the main thing that you want to do is accept your cringe. Accept the feeling. There's a quote that I heard from a good friend of mine, Decker, from a long time ago. And what he said was, real true self-love and self-acceptance is when you can replay all your cringiest memories and smile. When you can look back on the worst, cringiest, most terrible memories you have, smile and be like, yeah, that was me. That was what I knew at the time. That's who I was. As soon as you can do that and smile and find the humor in it, then you're free. However, there's a lengthy period of just being with that unbearable feeling of puckering your butthole until you're trying to get out of existence. So the idea is to be with the part of you that cringes, to be with the part of you that says, I'm not allowed to be this. People will make fun of me, and if they do, that means I'm bad or weird or whatever the fuck it is, and loving that part of you so much to where it doesn't care what other people think about it. Because the only reason that part of you cringes is because it doesn't have you. It doesn't have you, and so therefore it is dependent on the love and acceptance and validation of everybody else. But as soon as you start to be there with the part of you that cringes, and you start to love the part of you that cringes, it starts to get that love and acceptance and validation from you, and as a result, it just doesn't need it from anywhere else. And so the part of you that really cares about other people's opinions falls away naturally because it just doesn't have a reason to exist anymore. Because when you're loving and accepting that part of your personality, you also get to ask, like, is the thing that I did, or is the thing that I want to do actually wrong or bad or just kind of tone deaf or unaware or whatever, like pretending to pick up trash on the beach and then fucking leaving it? Like, that's obviously a dumb shit thing to do. And so when you're dealing with your cringe and loving it, you also want to ask, is it wrong or bad in any kind of way, or am I just embarrassed? And if it is actually wrong or bad or inconsiderate or whatever the thing might be, then you just know you need to adjust some behaviors and maybe make some apologies or whatever you got to do. However, if it's not actually wrong or bad or hurting anybody's feelings in a way that is irresponsible, then all you have to do is know that this part of you cares more about other people's opinions than it does about yours, and then love it so that it starts to care more about yours. And then you take all that power back, and then you just naturally care less. Essentially, what this really is conquering your social anxiety. Right? Because social anxiety is just you being afraid that other people are going to see you the way you see yourself. So if you just the way you see yourself, then you will not really care so much about what other people think. So if you want to learn more about that, I do actually have a whole video about social anxiety that goes into all this, and it can break down how to overcome it and all that sort of shit, but I'm going to go into it a little bit more now as well. And so in the beginning, what it really looks like is just you allowing yourself to feel the cringe, right? Like, you're going to want to like pucker up out of existence, and you just got to let yourself. And sometimes it can even help to let your body do what it wants to do. Like, if you think of a cringy memory and you want to curl up into a ball, fucking do it. Let your body express itself however it has to. Because if the natural impulse and the way that that cringy part of you wants to express itself is as a little ball, then the most validating thing you can do for it is to let yourself go into that little ball and feel the cringe. Like, feel how much it hurts to imagine somebody else judging you the way you judge yourself. Feel how much that stings and how much you punish yourself as a result, and allow yourself to have that whole experience. Because what that does is it's draining your tank. You only have so much cringe in there. And when you let yourself embrace it and feel it, what you're doing is you're expressing it, you're getting it out, you're draining that tank. And if while you're draining the tank, you tell yourself that you're good enough and it's okay to be who you are and it's okay if other people don't like it, then as you drain the tank, you're filling it back up with positive ideas. So you drain all the negative, cringy emotions and attitudes and ideas out of your body, and then you fill that space with like, yeah, I'm rad. I get to do whatever I want to do. I can dress like a Power Ranger if I want to. I can do whatever I want to do. And if people cringe and if people laugh at me, that's fine because I know who I am and that's good enough. All of those things line up, then you gain access to true, genuine confidence. And confidence for me, like the real, true, genuine, solid, integrative confidence is what happens when you can allow other people to make fun of you. You can allow other people to judge you. And any part of you that has something negative to say about it, or any part of you that believes the criticism or the judgments or whatever, you get to go in there, sort out for yourself whether or not you think it's okay. And if it is, you just love out of it, and then suddenly their criticisms don't matter to you anymore. You can get criticized, you can get judged, you can get called whatever, but because you've dealt with all that, you can just stand confidently in who you are, how you want to live your life, and who you want to be. All you can really do is one of either two things. You can either repress your cringe so that you're cringing in the background, and therefore you're going to judge anybody that does the shit you would have cringed yourself for, and that's not actually freedom, that's just repression, and all that shit's going to come back later, so you might as well deal with it now. There's the repressive version, but then there's also the integrative version, where you see if they're right, you see if their judgments hold any weight. If they are, you fix it. If they're not, you love yourself, and you just keep becoming more whole, more solid, and more confident the more people judge you. It's great. So in order to sum all this up, I'm going to break this down into 6 distinct steps. And if you don't get anything else from this video, just make sure that you get these 6 distinct steps, because these are the things that are going to change your life. And before I go into it, I want you to write a comment about the most cringy thing you've ever done. Put that shit in the comments. I'll add one too. The more people you can tell your cringe to, the more people you can expose your cringe to and allow yourself to feel things, the more comfortable you're going to get with it, and the more you're going to be able to do these next 6 steps. So step number 1 is you want to accept the fact that you cringe. You basically just want to accept the fact that there is somewhere inside of you that cringes at your existence to some degree. If there's something you could do and you would cringe about it, there is some part of you that is afraid. Some part of you that is afraid of other people's criticisms or judgments or whatever. So the first step is to accept that that exists. The second step is to let yourself feel it fully. Really open yourself to the experience of cringe. Open yourself to being embarrassed about something that you did, something that you want to do, something that you think you are. Allow yourself to feel all of those feelings so that you can kind of become desensitized to them and start to understand that they're not that scary. And step number 3 is you want to get all that shit out of your body, right? You've accepted it, you've started to feel it, and now you want to express it. There are somatic ways you can express it, like I talked about curling up into a ball, if that's what feels right. You can express it vocally. You can talk it out. You can journal it out. The main point is to allow all of those feelings and those judgments to leave your body so that you can get to the next step, which is filling that empty space with positivity. As you drain that tank, as you express all the negative stuff, what ends up happening is you create a vacuum, you create a void, and that void will be filled one way or another. It'll either be filled by your unconscious thoughts, whatever's in your environment, or the thoughts, beliefs, and visions of your choosing. I recommend filling that empty space with the thoughts and feelings of your choosing. So as you're draining all that shit and you're allowing all your cringe, being like, I'm such a cringy motherfucker, I hate myself, I wish I didn't, blah, 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 blah. As you're getting all that out, have another part of you being like, yeah, and I'm rad, and I get to do whatever I want, and I get to be free, and I love myself so much that I don't care what other people think. So as you're draining the tank, you're filling it right back up with positivity, which is going to lead you to the next step. Step 5 is to actually analyze your behavior. Getting it out and filling your tank with positivity, you actually want to do a reality check to make sure that you're not becoming someone you don't want to be. So like I said before, a lot of people go wrong with this and they just repress their cringe, and that makes them socially unaware. It makes them do really foolish things that actually make them look like assholes. And so you don't want to do that. You want to check for yourself and make sure okay, am I being aware? Am I not being a shithead? And if so, just continue on with what you want to do. Which leads us to the final step, step 6, which is rinse and repeat. This is basically your maintenance step. Because as you keep growing, you're not going to get all of your cringe out in the first go, right? Whenever you do integration work, you're always integrating from your current level of awareness, from your current level of emotional capacity, and from your current level of wisdom. So as you develop your wisdom, as you develop your capacity, and as you develop your awareness, you will have more space to face these things on a deeper level, and you'll be more skilled and capable of dealing with them on a deeper level. So you're just going to keep doing this. As you get more and more confident, you're going to find new things that make you cringe. You love and integrate those. You get more confident, and you just kind of keep riding that spiral basically until you die. And each step you take, your life is going to get that much better. You're going to get that much more congruent with who you really are. You're going to attract people into your life that can really appreciate it, and you'll give a lot less fucks about the people who don't. As you grow and as you integrate these old things that make you cringe and all sorts of stuff, your view on life is going to change. Your desires are going to change. Your vision for who you want to become is going to change. And it's important to constantly be checking these things and make sure that as your perspective changes, that it does line up with your values, it does line up with your integrity, and it turns you into someone you can be proud of. Because it's really important to know how easily it is to fuck this up. So many people just repress all this stuff and become people they don't want to be and don't find out until way later on. Whereas if you're constantly checking, it's like, okay, am I going in a direction I feel good about? Am I becoming someone I feel good about? As I learn and grow and integrate, do I feel more whole, or am I starting to feel fractured? Am I starting to lose energy? All those things can be indicators that where you're going and who you're being are not fully in alignment. So as you keep doing this, you should be getting more confident, more happy, more energized, more whole. And if you're not, go back to the analytical step and just see where you might have gone wrong. So I know this is really complicated. I know there's a lot of different rabbit holes to go in here. So if you have questions or concerns or anything like that, feel free to put them below and I can make another video. I can answer you in the comments or whatever it is you need. But if you did like this video, please like, share, subscribe, do all that sort of shit, because I want to get this workout to as many people as I possibly can. And some of you have been commenting that my page is criminally underrated, and I fucking agree. So let's try and get this out to as many people as we possibly can. Thank you so much for your support. I'll see you next time.